recorded live.
Hello and welcome to Bluegrass Planet Radio, and we are back. Finally, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I apologize to every single one of you out there and appreciate your diligent patience with us. We went live at the top of the hour with our guest, Jett's Creek, Angie from Jett's Creek, and all of a sudden I used Skype connection. Everything about technology decided to go awry. I mean, my internet went down, my Skype went down, I could not hear her talking. We were talking before the show went live. So, needless to say, if you are listening, Angie, I need to get you back on the line. Just dial in the number and the call ID that you were given before, and you'll be connected to us here. Again, I am so sorry that this happened, but it is technology and it is live radio, and sometimes these things happen. You don't have any control over it. So we worked for almost 40 minutes now trying to get back, and I appreciate every single one of you for sticking it out and being here with us. While we are working to get Angie back on the call, I'm going to go ahead and play a couple of songs off of their latest album, and it is a great album, by the way. I'm so excited that they've it's just brand new release, like this month, brand new release, as a matter of fact, and it's a great album. The album is called The Wait Is Over, and I want to go ahead and play a couple songs from that now. And the first up will be When Angels Fall. This is Jett's Creek.
I'm like the wind that never blows, waiting for one, God only knows. But you walk in, one thing's for sure, I'm not waiting for you anymore. When angels fall and time stands still, I'll take you back, you know I will. You'll see me there, stumble and crawl, when time stands still and angels fall. It's your turn away. I know you thought you'd find me here, showing my forgiveness side. In the shadow of doubt and fear, you have changed and so have I. When angels fall and time stands still, I'll take you back, you know I will. You'll see me there, stumble and crawl, when time stands still and angels fall. Time stands still and angels fall.
Jett's Creek and When Angels Fall. And we have from Jett's Creek Angie on the line with us now. Hello, Angie.
Hey there, how are you doing?
I'm much better now. I am so sorry. I did not know what happened, but technology took over, had a mind of its own, and all of a sudden said, no, you're not going to do this interview at 4 o'clock. It's going to be when I want it you to do. I mean, my internet was gone. My Skype was gone. I don't know what was going on. But anyway, thank you so much for your patience, and I appreciate you still being able to hang in there and do this with us. We greatly appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Well, welcome to our show. I was telling the listeners initially when we first started all this that when I stumbled upon your band, I was just blown away by your sound. I must tell you, you have a voice that sounds like an angel. I mean, just so fitting. It's so fitting for bluegrass. But you're a great vocalist, and so I guess I kind of want to start at the beginning with regard to Jett's Creek and how you guys came to be as a band.
Okay. Wow. It's been quite a while. The first time that we ever played together, the band originally started my dad and my brother and I. I had sang all growing up. My dad and my brother both played in bluegrass groups around here, around home, the whole time I was growing up. My brother Adam actually played with Dry Branch Fire Squad for quite a while before he quit, came off the road, and decided to get married and have a family. So the choir director at my church approached me one Sunday and asked, she said, I heard a rumor that you can actually really sing. And I kind of chuckled, and I said, I don't know about that. Now, I will be honest with you, I would have lied and said no, except for my aunt was standing there. She'd visited our church that day, and I knew she would rat me out. And so they asked me if I would sing a special a couple of Sundays from there. And, it had been, I had been home having babies. I think the most I had sang out loud was, the Barney I Love You, You Love Me song, in 7 or 8 years at least. So I went to Dad and Adam and said, they asked me to sing at church. Will you guys come help me and play for me? Because I don't play an instrument. And they said, sure. And we sang that Sunday, or a couple Sundays later, I think it was, and it was like our church homecoming, so there were people from other churches there. And we had 3 or 4 different folks from different churches in the area come up to us after church was over and asked if we'd be willing to come play at their church. So that was kind of how it all started.
Wow, and as the rest they say is history. I mean, and what a history you guys have, because, you've launched not 1, not 2, but now you've just released your 3rd album, which is The Wait Is Over. And talk a little bit about this album in particular, and how is this album, would you say, would be different than, say, your first 2 releases?
The Wait Is Over is night and day different. We had, pretty good success on the charts with Supposed to Be, which was our first album, and also with Guilty. Guilty, we had phenomenal reviews for, an independent band that nobody really had ever heard of. We had quite a bit of, there was some buzz about it, but we just couldn't break into that next level, and I didn't know why. I just have no idea what we needed to do. So when we decided we wanted to go back in the studio and cut a new project, I had become friends with Clay Hess, and I asked him if he would be willing to come in and produce this one. And I told him, I want something. I want to sound like us, but we need something, and I don't know what it is. And so I thought, a fresh pair of ears, somebody that'll push us out of our comfort zone a little bit, and that was what he did.
That's awesome. Now, I'm interested to find out why you named this album in particular The Wait Is Over, because, it's not like this was your first release. So what is the backstory to this title?
It's a little tongue-in-cheek. It's a little bit of me being kind of snarky. It took us, as you said, Guilty came out in 2010. It took us 3 years to get this one finished. I think the record label, Mountain Fever, they waited on it for 2 years. We hadn't even started it when I talked to Mark Hodges about taking Jett's Creek on, and would you want to release a project by us? We hadn't even begun. We had not even looked at material when I talked to him about it. And he was gung-ho, and, bless his heart, after the first year, I started getting emails. Are we ever going to get a project? Are we ever going to hear anything? So he was patient, so it was a lot of that. You know, some of it was, it really did take us a while to get it finished up. But then also, one of the songs on there, Marry Me, which I think is track number 5, if I remember off the top of my head, one of the lines in that song is, now the wait is over. So it kind of worked that way. It seemed like it was a way to say, okay, yeah, finally the wait's over on getting this thing done, but it was also a nod to one of the songs on the CD.
Well, and very appropriately titled, I might say, given the history, of getting this album together and getting it out there. And I must tell you, it's a great album. I've listened to it from start to finish, backwards and forwards and every way in between. And it's just a great album full of great music. I have so many favorites on the album. I think my absolute favorite is the song I played, When Angels Fall. That is a beautiful song, and you do such a great job on that. Do you personally have a personal favorite on it?
You know, everybody has asked me that. Different songs on there for different reasons. Because it did take us a while. Clay did a really good job, I think, of waiting to have me do the vocals on things until I was in the right place to do them correctly, until he knew he could get out of me what he wanted. This album's, without realizing it when we were choosing material, this album ended up being much more personal than I thought it would be. And he really waited until I was ready to do each song before we went in and we actually did it. And so when I listen to it and people say, what's your favorite song, I can't choose one because there's different ones. I relate them so much to where I was at the day I went in and cut that song. So I can't pick it. I cannot, to save my life, pick one.
Well, and that's not uncommon because so many artists that I talk to, when they release a new album, they always say, each song is kind of like a child. And so, you can't really have a favorite because every song has a personal, you have a personal vested interest in each song as an artist anyway. And each one has a particular meaning that means something to you. And that's the beauty of music. I mean, it not only means something to the artist that created it, but it means something to the listeners. And it can mean so many different things, which is what I love about music, the way it's just, well, I'm sure that you guys are getting so many rave reviews. What kind of feedback have you gotten thus far about the album?
So far, we've gotten some pretty good feedback. Everybody seems to like it. The general feeling has been that it's eclectic. There's something on it for everybody. If you're not a real hardcore traditional bluegrass fan, there's something on there for you. If you are a hardcore traditional bluegrass fan, there's a couple of songs on there for you. There's something that everybody would like. There's some more contemporary. There's some gospel. I think depending on the mood you're in that day, you're going to gravitate towards different tracks. So thankfully, radio's like it.
Well, and I couldn't agree with you more because you guys, what I see from my side of the microphone and playing music is that you produce an album that, yes, is kind of a one-size-fits-all kind of album. It's not only that way for listeners, but for radio airplay, it's great because, it can be on a country station, it can be on a bluegrass station. It's very versatile, and it does give something for everyone, and depending upon the mood or what style of music you like, you can really gravitate towards the song of choice. And and I think as humans, we're just naturally changing up what we like about music almost daily sometimes. And so this is one of those rare gems that, in my opinion, gives listeners that opportunity that, it's not like a lot of the stuff you get where it's so rote and you know what to expect song after song on an album. So this really does, it has changed, it has kind of added a lot of variety for listeners, which I think is a great, rare treat for listeners in itself.
Thank you. We don't do it intentionally. We somehow managed to do it on the first two, and it seemed to work out this way on the third one. I think it's the band, to be honest with you. We all have very eclectic taste in music. We all, I think if you polled all of us, except for maybe two, four of us would say the Eagles were hands down our favorite band ever of all time. Then you're going to have, well, no, wait a minute, what about the Osborne Brothers? And we're all going to, and nobody, I don't think any one of us could choose just one single favorite, but the mix of things that we like and that we are drawn to is so diverse. I mean, I've got 3 teenagers in the house, so what I hear on a day-to-day basis is so completely different than what my dad hears on a day-to-day basis. So it's just the diversity of the people in the band lends to the type of material that we ended up choosing.
Well, I can certainly identify with the whole teenagers in the house thing and the diversity of music. Being a mom of 3 myself, it is 2 are out of the house, 1 is still at home, but still they all have different musical tastes, even as they were growing and even as they're merging into young adulthood. And it's just like, you know, it is true what they say, no 2 are alike, just like no 2 songs are alike. So, you know, it is interesting. You never know what you're going to wake up to some. I thank the Lord I have bluegrass, believe it or not, just so I can kind of have some sanity about it. But, well, you guys, you know, this is just a brand new release project, so what are your forthcoming plans into 2014 as far as the project goes, and then for any other future projects that you may have coming out?
This project right now, you know, we're in the middle of, it's winter, so nobody's really on the road much, so we're big into promoting it. We're working with the record label and with Make Welcome Entertainment. They do our booking and all of our PR. So we're all trying to push it more than anything, get the word out there. You know, it's a hard time of year to get new material noticed because there's so much of it that's put out. And, you know, right after IBMA, there's the big push. Everybody gets stuff put out. So that's the big thing right now, is to get the word out about the project. Starting to get things booked up for next year. I know they're working on, I believe we're playing Jonesboro in May. I can't remember things off the top of my head. I'm terrible. But that's our big thing. I've been kicking around. I hate to say this out loud because Mark is probably going to call me as soon as he hears this and have a fit. But I'm starting to kick around and look at material for the next project. And actually, Clay and I were talking about it the other day. I do it very differently. As I hear things, as stuff comes to me, I put it in my phone so I don't forget it, because if I don't, I will. And then, I may come back to it in a month or 2 and listen to it again and see if that's really what I want, if that's really still sticking with me. And then I'll let the guys hear it, and they'll either A, shoot it down, or B, say, maybe. And then, so that's kind of how we're looking at it right now. It's where my brain is. I'm just starting to notice other music instead of being quite so fixated on this one.
Well, and it's never too soon to start thinking about the next album and the next project, because you know yourself that it does take a while to get one together and to have it, come out the way you want it to come out and to sound the way you want it to sound. It takes time, and it's not something that can just be thrown together at a moment's notice. So, that's awesome. That sounds exciting, and it sounds like there's a possibility that we might have a project coming from you guys in 2014 at some point. But we'd love to see you guys in North Carolina if it's on your list of tour dates. We'd love to see you here, and hopefully you can get out to one of the mini festivals that we host here. And I would love to get out and see you guys live, because I know it would just be a phenomenal show.
Well, I know we're going to be in Jonesboro, and there's another one right around there, and I can't remember what it is to save my life. But there's a chance that after school's out this year, I'm moving to North Carolina. So I'm all about getting as much booked down around there as possible.
There are so many here in North Carolina. It's unbelievable. As I was telling you before we ever went live earlier, that's one of the reasons why I started the show, because there's so many bands here that need the airplay and need the recognition, as well as across the United States. And bluegrass is just huge. And that's one thing I wanted to ask you before we wrap. Why do you personally think bluegrass music is one of the most popular, if not the most popular, genres of music out there?
I think it's because it's organic and it's real. When you listen to some of the stuff that's on, top 40 radio or whatever you want to call it, unless you are 15 years old, and to be completely honest with you, that's most of what I hear. I pray that a 15-year-old doesn't have anything in common with some of that mess, but it is so out of the day-to-day norm for most people. But you listen to bluegrass, and it really is how you're feeling that day. It really is. You know what it feels like to sit in the car and cry on your way to work because you miss your mother. and somebody actually had the nerve to sing about it. Somebody else feels that way.
Yeah.
It connects everybody. It's a universal, it's able to, feelings that are universal. It's everybody can relate through a song. And bluegrass, I think, is really the only genre left that has the nerve to sing about those things.
Yeah, I totally agree, and that's one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite genres, just because it is so real and relatable, and artists are not afraid to sing about real world problems and everyday problems that they encounter, and there is no other genre out there that can be as relatable as what bluegrass music offers. And the other thing I love about it is just any festival that I've ever been to, it's so personable. I mean, artists are, they're not like normal mainstream artists where and pick and play with, just amateurs that just love it and mingle and fellowship. It's just a great community type music that brings fans and artists together like no other.
Yep, I agree. I mean, we're real people. We're no different than, God bless you for coming and paying the $15 to come to our show, but the truth is, when I get home on Monday morning, I still got to do laundry just like you do.
Yes, I know.
I mean, we're no different. We're the same as everybody else, so there's no airs, there's just none of that attitude. Everybody's in this together, and we're all trying to make it through just like everybody else.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, Angie, it has been a pleasure speaking with you. I'm not going to hold you any longer because you have been so gracious to just hang in there with us while we fought through these technical difficulties. But I'm so excited for what's to come from Jett's Creek. You guys are up and coming and, gosh, making so much noise in the world of bluegrass. And I am very excited for what's going to happen for you guys moving forward. And we definitely hope to see you in North Carolina at some point in 2014.
We will do our best. Thank you very much for having me. I had a good time.
Thank you, Angie. Take care and give our best to the rest of the band, and we'd love to have you back again anytime.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. We've been speaking with Angie Young from Jett's Creek, and because I was not able to tell this at the beginning of the show, I'm going to let you know now. They are a traditional bluegrass band. They're a 6-piece bluegrass band, and they are known for their tight family harmony and incredible original material. They've just released their third album called The Wait Is Over. Their first 2 releases were Supposed to Be and Guilty, and they have just had great success with the first 2 projects, and I have no doubt that this newest release is going to bring them as much success, if not more. And before we wrap today, I want to go ahead and play a couple more numbers off of the latest release. I think you're going to enjoy these. These are also some personal favorites of mine from the album, and I think you will enjoy it. And I'm going to play Second Wind, and followed by Tortured, Tangled Heart. Take a listen.
There's an old friendly breeze that blows in the Gulf of Mexico, and somehow it always knows when I'm feeling low. So I'm gonna anchor down and wait till it comes around. Leave the rest of the world behind. Yeah, that's how I'll pass the time till I catch my second wind. Get back up and gain control again. Find the strength to walk back when. Do you stop loving me? I guess I'll just stay out here until I know the coast is clear. Sit and watch the tide roll away till I catch my second wind. There's a peace in the way I feel when the water's still. As long as it's calm out here, I've got time to kill. But as soon I catch my second wind. Get back up and gain control again. Find the strength all back. You stop loving me. I guess I'll just stay out here until I know it's sit and watch the tide roll in till I catch my second wind. Catch my second wind. Sit and watch the tide roll in till I catch my second wind. There was a little falter at the altar of confession, down on his knees, true love did fall. After 31 days of sleepless nights, she woke up to end it all. With I love you on a breast tattoo engraved upon his chest. She tore her name right off his heart, appears to be unblessed. Oh love, you fickle thing, such pretty words and golden rings. It was a broken dream right from the start. Bless their tortured, tangled heart. Coupled with delusion makes the best made plan sometimes fail. They whined and they dined, had peace of mind. She fought a gown and hearing its tale. But the mighty cloud of destiny came drifting through the gate and busted up what could have been a perfect hope today. Oh love, you fickle thing, such pretty words and golden rings. It was a broken dream right from the start. Bless their tortured, tangled heart. Oh love, you fickle thing, such pretty words and golden rings. It was a broken dream right from the start. Bless their tortured, tangled heart.
That was Jett's Creek and a couple of hits off of their latest release, The Wait Is Over. That was Tortured and Tangled Heart. Before that, you heard from Second Wind. And we started the show off today with When Angels fall. So we want to give a huge thank you and shout out to Angie Young from Jett's Creek for being our special guest today, and also many thanks to all of you for your patience and diligence and hanging in there with us while we tried to get these technical difficulties troubleshooted and worked out. So we just want to say thank you so much for being here, and if you're brand new to our program, this is not the norm, by the way. We don't normally have technical difficulties, but we certainly hope that you will be back again very soon. We've got a lot of great guests coming, and you'll definitely want to tune in for each and every one. You can always check out our website at bluegrassplanetradio.com to get a rundown of all the guests we have coming and when. We've got some great guests lined up for early in January in 2014, some IBMA guests, I might add. So you definitely want to tune in for that. And following this show, once it wraps, you can catch us over at Spreaker.com, and we will be doing our Pickin' and Jammin' Showcase featuring some of the best in indie and mainstream bluegrass we found anywhere on the planet. We'll be playing for about an hour and a half some of that music, so feel free to tune in. You can go to our Facebook page, Bluegrass Planet Radio. Just do a search for us, like our page, and you can also get the link from there to grab the show. So, again, many thanks to Angie Young from Jett's Creek for being our special guest. Thank you to all of you for being with us, and I'm going to say good night and have a great evening, and we will see you again real soon. Take care, all. God bless. You've been listening to Bluegrass Planet Radio. Find us on the web at bluegrassplanetradio.com, on Twitter at Blue Planet, and